Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review My Friend, and this is a new drama from writers and directors Scott McGahey and David Siegel. This film is based off of a novel from Sigrid Nunez, and this film focuses on Iris, played by Naomi Watts, who is an editor and a writer whose closest confidant and friend, Walter, played by Bill Murray, commits suicide. And in the wake of all this grief and processing this trauma, she must take in his Great Dane. And she's not about it. Her building can't have dogs. And it opens up a lot of conflict and also takes her on a path of processing the grief of losing her closest friend. And this film, I think McGahey and Siegel are able to craft a very classy, very mature atmosphere. This film looks real sleek and metropolitan. It really captures the vibe of this being a New York City kind of film. And I think the film has a maturity in terms of its processing a lot of complicated character dynamics. Like Bill Murray's character had two ex-wives, his present wife. He had an illegitimate daughter who's now an adult, and all of these pieces and these complex dynamics between each of these characters and how they all engage with Iris. And this film navigates those challenging dynamics and how they're each processing the loss of Walter in this situation in very mature, engrossing, and engaging ways. I think this film does a great job of navigating grief. I think it really captures the wonderful connection that human beings can build with animals, their pets. Specifically here, this big, lovable Great Dane. If I'm not mistaken, Bing is the name of the dog. Excellent dog acting throughout this film. And Naomi Watts gives such a great performance. I really do believe she's one of the most underappreciated actors working today. There's just so much depth that she brings to this character of Iris. There's a few important scenes where she shows so much emotion. And she has a lot of complex feelings in this situation. And there's anger, there's resentment towards her friend for leaving her. And those are complex feelings. The process, there's a scene where she's speaking to a therapist where a lot of those emotions come up, and it's such great acting. And there's an interesting choice of a sequence later in the film between Watts and Murray processing all of these feelings, and the acting between the two of them. They have great chemistry on the screen, and just the amount of emotion each of them are able to channel. Bill Murray doing some really emotive performance here, which you don't get to see him do a lot, because a lot of the time it's just deadpan, which there's a lot of that too, but there's moments where he breaks a little, and it's really powerful in that. I think this film, it's a 2-hour film. I think there's storylines that probably could have been tightened up a little bit. I feel like the story is a tad stretched out. And this film tackles some really complicated issues, some timely issues, and I feel like there's some moments where it kind of takes some easy narrative ways out of hard situations. But the vast majority of this screenplay, I think, tackles these conflicts head on and does it in a, very mature and open kind of way. I think between Watts and the sprinkling of Murray, and you have the likes of Carla Gugino, Constance Wu, and a few other standout performances that really bring a lot of depth to the characters around Iris throughout this situation. I just think this is a really well-crafted, refined, mature film that doesn't pull punches in terms of how it navigates some challenging subject matter, including suicide and trauma and grief and guilt. And it just really captures the setting of New York City very well. And Naomi Watts just gives such an amazing performance, right up there with Bing, the Great Dane, who both give a pair of really engrossing and empathetic performances that we can really get behind as an audience. But those are my thoughts on The Friend. Let me know what you think and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.